Here's our next bout. Final one of the quarterfinals. John Campetella against Gary Big Daddy Goodridge. And there's some muscles. There's some muscles in this one.
This has got to be the combined biggest bicep fight in the world.
Here's the tale. 263 to 235, so that's almost a quarter ton in the ring in the octagon tonight. One from Ontario, one from New York. Let's meet our first competitor in this bout, John Campetella. Staten Island, New York, second-degree black belt in Vadha Kempo Karate. He teaches at 2 American Vadha Kempo schools. He's a high school biology teacher at Lincoln High School in Brooklyn, New York. He's completing his master's at Staten Island College. He's been in martial arts for 12 years.
And he is one strong, physical-looking specimen. Former wrestler, limited bare-knuckle experience. If he's as good in wrestling as his background indicates, it's probably going to come down to a ground battle.
All right, let's find out a little bit more about the man whose name is John Campetella.
Okay, I'm John Campetella from Staten Island, New York. I practice American Vada Kempo. Waited a long time to test my skills in the octagon. I finally have my chance. I'm looking forward to the competition.
Well, he says it's all about showing what is effective in a fighting system. That's what the UFC is all about, and I want to show how a lot of that fits into what we do in Vadha Kempo Karate.
His trainer is Frank Barone, instructor Professor John Salvaggio.
Let's meet his opponent, the Big Daddy, Gary Goodridge. He's from Birmingham, Ontario. The 93 Canadian amateur super heavyweight boxing champion. He was the runner-up in UFC 8. He's 2-2 in the octagon. He lost to Mark Schultz when the referee stopped the contest prior to OT in UFC 9 in a bout fight card. Arm wrestler, 15 years. Once put down 1,000 men in a row in 2 hours in Japan. He's got experience that Campetella does not have.
Exactly, and we've seen that as a huge advantage in here, knowing exactly what you're going to run into and knowing how to deal with the nerves surrounding entering the octagon and dealing with fighters away from the octagon.
Here's a look at Big Daddy's martial arts cross-training style.
Power over technique. He's somebody that wants to use what God-given power he has, and he's got punches. Limited ground skills, though he does know the guard. He's a knockout puncher, and we saw with devastating effect what he can do with his elbows. He will strike on the ground.
You know what? Big Daddy has been accused of a lot of things. Nice guy trying to be mean, mean guy trying to be nice. You decide for yourself. Tough talk's over. It's time to get nasty.
So here at the Alabama State Fair Arena in Birmingham, Alabama, we're ready for our 4th quarterfinal bout of the evening. Bruce Buffer to lead us through.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for our last first round bout of the evening. Starting to my left, a second-degree black belt in the art of Vadha Kempo. He's appearing for the first time in the octagon. He's 27 years old, 5 feet 9 inches tall, and weighing in at 235 pounds. He's fighting out of Staten Island, New York. Let's hear it for John Campetella. And to my right, standing at 6 feet 3 inches tall and weighing in at 263 pounds. He's 30 years old. A second-degree black belt in martial art cross-training. He's a 4th-degree black belt in Kuk Sul Wan, the 1993 Canadian amateur super heavyweight boxing champion, the UFC 8 runner-up, and he's 2-2 in UFC competition. You know him as the Big Daddy. His name is Gary Goodridge.
So it's Goodridge against Campetella. Campetella from well-known Lincoln High School in Brooklyn, New York, same high school that produced the likes of Lou Gossett Jr. and Marv Albert and Stefan Marbury.
Well, heroes for Campetella, Lee and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And for Goodridge, Martin Luther King.
Up against the back of the octagon wall. Good.
Oh, fireman's carry.
Iron throw.
Nothing there.
Back to their feet. Quick knee by Campetella.
Uppercut.
Good right hand by Campetella.
This might be the first person in which Goodridge has felt somebody equally as powerful with the arms.
Another uppercut by Campetella. Oh, he punched to the back of the head. Now Goodridge swinging his elbow out. Got a lot of brute force in there.
Unbelievable power between these two, particularly the upper body. Let's see how long Campetella can go, and Goodridge goes to the ground. He hooked it up and he pulled him right down, and he's probably going to test him here. Look for a submission, see how well versed Campetella is in trying to pass the guard.
So Goodridge in the guard. Let's see what Gary can do. He lost to Don Fry in the finals of UFC 8. Lost his bout 9, back for the third straight time.
Interesting, he's got his robe, the gi, the arm sleeves rolled up, which means he can't really use them as a grip with one hand to hold Campetella.
Nice move by Gary Big Daddy Goodridge.
Oh,
left
good
hand.
left hand.
Another left hand. Look out, it's over. 3 left hands in a row by Big Daddy. And McCarthy stepped right in. A sudden reversal and a surge of power from Big Daddy.
Wow. Well, that left eye looks pretty closed up already for Campetella. John McCarthy sticking by his call.
Gary Goodridge.
Crowd, I don't know if they're happy about this one.
They're not, because Campetella still is very much there physically, but you can see the damage to his left eye. It's nearly closed right now. And McCarthy thought those 2 unabated hard shots by Goodridge was the beginning of some real bad damage, and he ended it.
Here's another look at it.
Well, Campetella was on top. Goodridge had the guard on him. And somehow Goodridge was able to reverse that situation, which led to that final struggle. Campetella in. As soon as Goodridge put that underhook, he went for a fireman's carry here, a typical wrestling move. This is where Paul Herrera cut some mean elbows. Campetella able to avoid it, get out. Goodridge able to get back to his feet. And then after the reversal, there was that first shot. And then there. And again, those were the 3-4 shots in a row, and McCarthy had seen enough, and there was some good damage to the left eye, stopped it from getting worse.
Another look, Jeff.
1. Clean shot in there, unabated. 2, 3, and 1 more for good measure, and that's when McCarthy said, hey, 4 in a row, good shots, that's enough.
And here's the Big Daddy's reaction. He had to work for it. He was in against a very, very strong guy. I think the first time he went in there against someone who had raw power similar to his own. But Goodridge advances. So we had 4 ref stops contest